How do you see AI disrupting the industry? Do you think people are going to lose their jobs?
So absolutely yes, people will lose their jobs. And
Oh,
it's not.
I expected something else.
I do not think AI is a threat because I think it's just a tool, just like a brush. A tool is nothing without the artist.
I can see a world where they give me an ability to create a localized AI where I give it my work so that it can spill back my style of work back to me, depending on what I want.
We will still go back to the things that we see humans creating. Now we want to drive cars that are antique. Now we want to buy record players. Even though we have music on our phone, we still want to. So I feel like there's a space for appreciation of maybe the older ways of things, and it will always exist in some kind of way. Yeah.
Hello guys, welcome back again to another episode of the show, which doesn't have a name. Talk about tech. But I'm so excited. This episode is so special. We're still talking about AI, but this time we're taking this through a special lens. And I'm so excited. We have two awesome people in the arts and creative space. I'll just let them introduce themselves. One of them, you already know me already. Sean.
Yeah. Sean Ama. Hi guys, I'm back. More AI talk. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yes, and we have one guy who has managed to stay hidden from the spotlight, but we've grabbed him and brought him to the show. I can guarantee you that you've seen his work, but you don't know he's the one. Cee Menka. Charlie, what's up? Good. Everything cool. All right, so see, first off, is Cee your actual name? Cee Menka, is that your actual name?
Okay, so I'm Caleb.
Caleb, okay.
Menka.
Caleb Menka.
Yes.
So the C is just
Caleb. So it's C.
C. Okay. We do C.
C
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about yourself before we get into your work. Tell us more about you.
Okay, so I'm Cee Menka. Everybody knows me as Cee Menka. An illustrator, animator. I like making stuff. Anything that comes to my mind, I'll make it. Maybe I might not put it out there that I'm making something, but I like making stuff. Yeah. Do a little bit of art direction here and there. Yeah. So basically that.
Yeah.
He's a creative at heart.
Yes, definitely. Guys, it's in his blood.
Exactly.
Right. But see, I want you to tell us some of the works you've done. We know what you've done, right? But some of the audience may not know. Yeah. But as I said, they know you've seen your work before, but they don't know who did it. So tell us some of the works you've actually done, the ones that people might know out there.
Okay, so I worked on Stonebwoy's Fifth Dimension album, his fifth album.
Yeah.
I worked on his sixth album, Up and Running. I worked a little bit on Kwesiate's first album, Son of Jacob.
I remember the art from that one.
His last album, Tints. This is not a tape. 3. Basically with the graphic stuff I worked on it myself, the entire album.
Big man.
Yeah, definitely. I remember
fear stuff. Yeah.
I remember especially when the Fifth Dimension album, that was one of Stonebwoy's album that the art piece was a core part of the album.
Yes.
A lot of people were, in as much as talking about the songs itself, the art piece was a core. But I remember Kojusho even made a whole video praising the
it was
art.
So good.
It was It was a distinct look.
Yes.
It was something that really stood out.
It looked, I don't even know, like there was a lot of intention. It felt like there was a lot.
If you zoom into any single part, there's a story that could be told in each of the pieces. It was so amazing. Yes. So as you can see, we have a good tier, in the art space, and we are so excited because this is a topic that, in our previous episode when we talked about AI, one of the things that came up a lot was how it impacted the art industry. Right. And so right after the episode, I remember I spoke to Sean and I was like, we need to get someone in the art space here and then just talk about it. And when you check online in Ghana, I think there are just a few people that can actually do the job. And we got one of the top dogs in it. So I'm so excited. So let's get into it. All right. So Cee Menka.
Yeah.
Have you used AI in when I say use AI, any of the AI tools? Have you used it in any of your work, and how do you try and integrate it in your work?
Okay, so I think every artist, including me, has gone through that whole stage of using AI without them knowing that they actually used AI. From Photoshop tools like taking backgrounds auto
yes,
selection, auto color, all those things. So it's been a thing. We just don't know that it was AI since AI has been there since 1960.
Yeah.
So I've used AI proudly. Used AI.
Yeah.
Before, and I still use AI still.
Also.
My work,
So I'm glad you say, as you said, proudly uses AI.
Yeah.
Yes. So a lot of people, especially artists, they look at AI as something that's a threat to their space, and it's said to them, themselves, like they are scared of it. Anytime somebody puts an artist use AI, I remember Disney. I mean, obviously, when the big corporations use it, sometimes there's an asterisk to it, right? But anytime AI is using any particular art piece that goes out there, a lot of artists come out and see it as a threat. Do you think it's a threat, or you think it's something else?
So personally, I'll talk for myself.
Yes, yeah.
I do not think AI is a threat because I think it's just a tool, just like a brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a tool is nothing without the artist. So most of the time, it comes from a place of, excuse my language, but insecurity, fear, not an artist not believing in their work, their storytelling or their process. So I do not think I have an issue with AI at all. Since I heard of AI, I was like, this is another leap. Yeah, most of the time that's what it has been.
Yeah. Interesting. You don't have a problem, but it turns out a lot of people do.
They do. My brothers do.
Yes, there's one studio artist. I think he's a studio artist called Hayao Miyazaki. He created the Ghibli animation. I don't know if I mentioned the name right, but that is what I think.
Yeah.
And he said a while back that an AI generated something was an insult to life itself. How do you think about that?
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay. I'll try and put myself in his boots, in his shoes. So I think a lot of artists put so much into their work, sweat and blood, the process, the pain, emotions. It goes into so much work, and to them, it's more of the process than it is about the outcome. So when he says that, it's more like a machine just picking stuff, putting it together, and just dumping the output on everyone like that, and ignoring the sweat and blood that people put into their work. It's not only about we suffering to make stuff, but you only make stuff that you've consumed. So when you consume stuff, the output is in your work.
Right.
Culture, color, all those things. So you consume and it reflects in your work. So I think from the point that he's speaking is just because AI learns from a data set from other creatives and just dumps it there without feeling culture, mistakes and all that. Yeah.
Right. So with that, saying the suffering kind of adds to the feeling and the end result of the work, the process is enjoyable. Do you think like the emotional pain that people go through, it contributes to the art? Obviously it does. But do you think the AI can replicate stuff like that?
Nope. Big nope. Yeah.
Okay.
So AI still needs people to push stuff, regardless of how smart it is or how much knowledge it has accumulated over the time. It will never be that. It could never replicate the soul of work. Get it? So design and art is like problem solving at a spot. So when you see this, or you are painting or you are drawing, or there's a mistake and you want to just leave it there and move, it is intentional, even though it's a mistake. But AI will just dump everything just on you like that. You get me?
Interesting.
But to continue from that as well, I think I posed the question the last time in this particular context, where if an AI produces a piece of work, right? And someone out there sees it, and the person without any context of the background, or the person who created it says, Charlie, this is so deep. Right now, honestly, I don't think AI can do that, because AI is bad with the details. It's good with the overall picture, but when you zoom into any AI image, you realize that it's just a hot mess
Right now.
right now. But I can guarantee the next 5 years get
It's
better.
going to get there.
But at the moment, so maybe it's not here. I'm talking in the next 5 years. But what happens at the time where it gets those details right, such that when somebody zooms in, be like, oh, you see the way the Fifth Dimension album, everybody zooms in and like, bro, the details.
It's indistinguishable.
Exactly. Yeah. When it gets to that point where maybe somebody typed in some of the details, maybe made the AI guess the details, right? But somebody sees it and be like, Charlie, this is deep. Hey, Charlie, when people start to sometimes people deep things that actually is safe. Yeah. But when it gets to that point where they don't know the background, but then the result gives them that emotion, where does that balance come in then?
So this is when creatives need to step up.
Yeah.
You get it? Because AI will only show you the output, never the process. So, and we would always go back to the times where people want to feel the past, like the originality of something. Get it? This whole era of AI, it has happened before, but it happened with traditional media. So with lettering, handwritten lettering and prints, it used to be stencil prints and all that before print media came.
In the art
they also felt the same thing when digital art. Yeah.
I can see why. Yes.
That's a good.
They did feel the same thing, because younger artists were just learning stuff,
doing it faster.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So we still go back to those things and try to replicate it. And those things are seen as a gem. They are seen as special.
They still hold value.
Yes, they still hold value.
Right. I have one example that is glaring in my mind right now. I remember this right now. Disney is doing a lot of CGI and 3D stuff, and anytime they try and incorporate handwritten like into the Spider-Verse or hand drawn animation, then the whole world is like, "What? This is so great! This is awesome!" But CGI and 3D is actually, you see the lighting of CGI and 3D, and it's so beautiful. But now there's this new found appreciation for the
older classic stuff.
I see.
I also think, like, back to the art question, it's like the imperfections usually add to the feeling of it. Like when you see a painting and there's a scratch somewhere that maybe the artist didn't intend to put there, that scratch makes you feel connected to it in some sense. So I think like AI, to some extent, we'll even get to a point where it can actually create the imperfections.
Yes.
But I do think, like, the human touch, there's, as we were saying, we will still go back to the things that we see humans creating, like physically or tactile stuff. I've seen like a lot of people going back to, now we want to drive cars that are antique. Now we want to buy record players. Even though we have music on our phone, we still want to. So I feel like there's a space for appreciation of maybe the older ways of things. And it will always exist in some kind of way. Yeah.
So you mentioned that it will now be up to the artist to, put out their process, right? And even for you mentioned earlier that before the conversation that for a long time you were not putting your process out there. You just work for the client, they pay, you give it to them and everything. But now it looks like it's getting to a time and a period where the process to get to where you get to just as important as the result, right? So what will you tell a lot of artists out there who are still in that phase that you were a few years ago, where you would just hide the process and then just give the results to the client, and the client just puts it out there as a piece, a finished work piece?
Okay. People still do that. People still just give the output stuff, like the finished work, and they don't show the process, and some people are fine. But to the people who want to appeal more to a different audience, or to give them a part of your soul, your work, you should try that. Unless you are not cutting corners to make your stuff, try it, and you realize that people will show you another side of themselves about your work. So, yeah.
All right. So, see, what do you think about companies that just for instance, you have put your work out there, you put your process tool on top of it out there, and now somebody in America they decide, Charlie, this guy go to his page, go and scrape everything, and then he's to train our mod because his work is
Which
nice.
is what's happening.
Yeah, it is.
How do you feel about
You know, Mark, just before that, Marquez always said that typically in his videos, he always used to leave a plan.
Yeah.
Now, when you tell the AI to generate a set for a text YouTube studio, you'll see that exact same plant in the background, you know. So, what do you think? What do you think about the whole them just scraping? Because ideally, and I'm just putting it out there so that we all have the preamble. Ideally, you put it out there for people to consume. Now, an artist out there can also look at your work, get inspired, and also create something that draws from your work. So what about without even your consent, actually? Because they can just look at your work. Wow, I like the way he did the strokes. Let me do some. And I don't think it needs your consent per se to be able to draw inspiration and do it. What makes it different from the corporations?
So I think in regards to inspiration, everybody picks inspiration from somewhere. People before us, the people before them. So in regards to inspiration, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you just lift somebody's style, a whole 100%, and just place it there, bam, like that, then that's where the problem is, especially if you are not seeking consent and all that. That's what's making the creatives angry. I don't think they're angry with AI because, see, you can't beat innovation. You can't be an enemy of innovation. It is coming, whether you like it or not. But theirs is the consent part, because how can you just pick my stuff and stuff that I've used years to learn, stuff that I've used years to perfect and all that, then just lift it off and you place it there. So that's where the issue is. And AI, because AI has no feelings and also it just picks everything just like that.
Yes, every stroke, every pixel,
it wouldn't try and make it a bit different. It will just lift everything just like that. So that's the difference between being inspired and just copying.
Yeah. I can see that. There's a difference between inspiration and just copy paste. And I think that's awesome.
So from that, what regulations do you think like they need to put into to make this better for you as an artist, so that you don't feel like you are being taken advantage of?
Okay, even though I don't have an issue with AI, honestly, Charlie, if we are being 100%, Charlie, I don't have an issue with it. But whenever I put myself in other people's shoes, I feel rules and regulations should be made to govern the use of people's work, because we have creatives who have their styles copyrighted. You get it? It's like designing a G-Wagon. Then somebody just carry your design just like that. And make something else. It's very annoying.
Right.
So it's the same thing happening here. So rules that could govern the use of AI materials. Let's say ChatGPT should have something that could restrict normal people, like anybody, from just lifting somebody's stuff. Like if you want to use someone's stuff, there are options that could be like, because these people, they are charging, they are making money off of people stealing stuff. So if a percentage could go to them as well, because I think creating stuff is hard.
It's hard, bro.
It's hard for somebody to just use speed to just.
It makes you feel like your work isn't valuable.
Exactly.
To some extent.
So rules that could also help that, because I think a part of that will also make people happy. And I think labeling stuff, going on a site and knowing that, oh, this is AI stuff and this is traditionally made from a digital
this is
artist.
a mix of it.
Exactly. When you label stuff too, I think it will make people okay to a point. Because when I come, I'm like, oh, so this is AI. Okay. Oh, this is
Adobe is doing something like that, where content credentials. Even right now, one of my videos, I was trying to expand the set, and I used AI, and I imported it into Lightroom, and I saw that it had a label on it. I think they're trying to embed some metadata into a lot of the stuff that will do it. But I sometimes I'm like, bro, would I want people to think that it
all goes back into like that we are early arguments, which is just like now people see it as if you use AI,
You
then
know,
you are
yes,
not
exactly.
creative
Yes,
to
yes,
some
yes,
extent.
yes.
So it will take time for us to like kind of warm up to, just like I
Yeah.
was saying with the stencil example. Like
Mhm.
I'm sure the older people would have felt like these people are not doing anything. We are
Yeah.
actually putting the so
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So
They
it
were
will
cooked.
take time for us.
Yeah, yeah.
It will take time for us to see that, yo, okay, it actually takes time to create this. The prompts take time to do. Everything is intentional. Even though we are not actually doing the brush strokes, we're actually putting in some
Effort,
effort in
yeah,
some extent.
yeah.
And that will be valuable when everybody is doing it.
Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
not be a problem anymore. So yeah, now going back to like the people who are working, you people as artists now,
Mhm.
how do you see AI disrupting the industry? Do you think people are going to lose their jobs? That is the biggest question.
Okay. So absolutely yes, people will lose their jobs, and
Oh.
it's not
I expected something else.
people because you are racing with speed.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's something that AI can make in minutes.
Mm.
You take like 5 days, 5
Mhm.
working days, and on top you even brown the client. So
Yeah.
speed and I think the people who suffer most are the entry people to anything else,
Right.
anything design wise. Yeah, if you're entry level, people will always take a hit.
Mm.
So if they want to use AI, they need to go hard, level up very hard, because the people up there will try to make things that I've made designs that I couldn't replicate with AI. I intentionally opened the app and I inputted the prompts. I tried it so many times, and you could see it was struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, in time it will catch up, but till then, yeah. So I think it will affect a lot of people, and not just creatives. It's because everything is tied together. Every industry is tied together little by little. So it will affect each and everybody nicely.
Sean always says anything that requires repetitive action. Anything that you have to do over and over and over again. AI is so good with doing something over. Yes, patterns exist. Anything that it can repeat itself.
That's
or,
why it needs so much data.
Yes, exactly. You know, and what's beautiful for me, particularly the fact that that's how human beings we also learn.
Yes.
I think if you, I've lived with the baby. I don't have a kid, but I've lived with the baby from birth to like about 3 years. And it's so fast. And back then, that time, AI was not like, it was there, but it was not as big as now as it is. But the way I saw it learn to identify stuff, right? I saw, we used to have 2 TVs at the time. It was one was an older TV, the copper one, the CRT one. And then we had one that was a flat screen. And I remember in her room, she had the small one. And then I showed her this was TV. But when she went out, she didn't know that was the same TV, right? Because the pattern of TV she has formed in her mind is something which is big with the back of it. And then we showed her the flat screen TV. And then we said, oh, this one was TV as well. And from there, it was able to identify, okay, TV is not about necessarily girls, it's about the square. Then it actually saw a painting which was black. It was a dark painting. And it said TV.
Wow.
And we said this was not TV. And, back then, it was just funny, right? But now that I think about it, when I was coming for this project, it came to mind. I think about like, wow, that was actually pattern identification at work. Exactly. And and it's fascinating that AI it's just the exact same thing. Just that you can't beat the yes, it just works. It's interesting, it's everything. But see, I want you to open your mind. Like you are in the space, so I'm sure you use that too. I can say what AI can do in tech. Maybe I can just assume what you can do in tech in the next 50 years. But you are in the art space. I want you to just open your creative mind. What do you think the next 50 years of AI looks like?
Okay, 50.
Like, okay, 25 to 40, 10, maybe 25, 10, 40, yeah.
Let's do, let's do 5.
So there will be so much speed. Okay, and I think creatives who learn how to use AI with simple technical stuff in regards to improving their work would really excel. because that's what you've been doing. You just don't know it. You get it. You want to crop an image and you don't use the pen tool. You just click and it goes. That's AI. It's fast.
Yeah.
So AI will do a lot of things for you. It would reevaluate scripts. It will help you with lighting. You get it. So the little technical, it should always be a tool for you. Anytime you want to compete with a machine, you also become a machine. So then you should get more human.
That's a line, guys. That's a serious line, bro.
So you should get more human.
You
Don't
get more
compete with the
human.
machine.
Don't compete with the machine. Because
That's hard.
imagine trying to race with a machine.
Yeah.
That won't
I mean,
work.
see the way GPT can generate something in like 10 seconds. You
don't
get 10 people working on the same
Exactly.
like Yeah.
So I just want to ask one last question. This is personal to me. So
Okay.
I have a little brother, and that I promise him that when he's 10, I'll put Adobe Illustrator on the laptop so that he can start learning. And then this ChatGPT thing comes. And so I was thinking, is it important now? Is it still good for me to let him learn the Adobe Illustrator or let him go into the graphic design work, even though this kind of thing is disrupting the industry to some extent?
I think, back to the basics. You need basic stuff to even prompt. You need a little bit of knowledge to tell AI what to do.
Right.
So if you don't know, it's just like using a calculator. If you don't know what one is, you can't type one.
Yeah.
So it is very important for everybody, including your brother, to also know the basic stuff, Illustrator, Photoshop, color stuff. You get it?
Yeah.
And I think over time, AI is going to make things so easy for a lot of people that people would forget basics. You get it? There are people who do not know about art and design, and they just go ahead. Just go ahead and just input anything. They feel it's good, but to the artist and the creative community,
It won't be
it's
valuable.
not
You
valuable.
don't see
It's trash.
Yeah.
There are times that we see stuff on the internet and we are like, what is this? What the-
Voila.
you
It's all
see-
to life itself.
You see something and you are like, yo, what is this?
Yeah.
And you are scared. You get it. It's like a dream.
Yeah.
It's like something you see in a dream.
Yeah.
So going back to the basics will help you to align your stuff. It's like knowing how to use the tool. So you learn how to use the tool. You don't use the wrong tool for the right job.
Yeah.
Or you don't use the right tool for the wrong job.
Yeah.
So I think it's still very
Still
important. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. See, what do you have to tell our creatives out there about this whole conversation we've had about AI and art? What do you have to tell them?
Charlie, I know that some of you be scared. Some of you are scared. Some of you are afraid. Some people even just started designing.
Imagine being in that position.
Imagine.
You started designing logos. Then
But those who know the fundamentals of design and art, they'll always see the holes in it. I've used AI. I'm an artist. I've used AI and I could see so much work. I know in time it will be done, but till then, would you wait? So pick up the pace and use it as a tool. It's here to help. And honestly, let's be honest. AI is not going anywhere.
No.
It's not going anywhere.
You might as well.
And there are people. Fine, you think creatives are fighting against it. There are people who are willingly giving their designs to the data set to learn. So it will come. There are people who are in support of the thing. So yours is to level up and it's a tool. Be the human being who uses the tool. Don't let the tool use you. If you are scared, you fail.
You catch it.
Use the tool.
Yeah, when you mentioned the fact that creators are giving their work, I can see a world where, like, they give me an ability to create a localized AI where I give it my work so that it can spill back my style of work back to me, depending on what I want. So that if I need to combine elements, I can just let it spill it back to me.
Or even just make ideation.
Yes.
Like, easier. Like, I get the idea. Okay, I want to see what it would look like, and then at least get an idea. So,
hold on, the last thing too. To the companies and the developers who are stealing stuff from artists.
Mhm.
Please stop. We do not like that. Please just ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Already, it's a tough life out here.
Yeah.
Ask.
Yeah.
Seek consent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chat,
That's
corporations, we beg. We beg. Stop. Just I honestly, if you might look when you go and find an artist, you know, the amount they might charge you for just their consent is probably less than the amount you pay an artist to actually develop it for you. I'm guessing. I don't know too much yet, but I'm guessing that even the royalties you pay to the it might not be as much. Just Charlie.
Please, it's a lot. I'm like, and AI is not easy. If you think it's easy, wait till you see people who would make a living out of doing stuff with AI for you, just because you don't know how to prompt, just because you don't know how to use this and that.
Technical terms to give.
Yeah,
to
we are
AI
moving. The hits. Everybody will take the hits. So you could just take the hit and smile, or could be pissed.
Yeah.
So please pay. You be willing to pay and be willing to pay. So yeah, I like that.
This has been a nice conversation.
Yes, definitely. All right, guys. So wow, we've had the good Cee himself give us some deep insights into how the AI and the art intersect in the real world.
Definitely.
I'm so excited that we had this conversation. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. So guys, let us know in the comment section what do you think about this whole topic, and let us know subsequent topics. What topics you want us to discuss. It might not necessarily be about AI, but whatever other topic around tech that you want us to discuss, and who you want us to bring to talk about the topics that we talk about.
We'll bring them.
Just as we'll bring
Let's
them.
say Elon Musk.
Marquez Brownlee,
come on,
guys.
It's not that hard.
Oh, you relax. New Jersey, right? Oh, come on.
So all you have to do is subscribe.
You go prompt them.
You go prompt them.
You go prompt them.
You go prompt that for AI inside.
Yeah. So as Fran was saying, just subscribe, like, comment, and let us know what you think and what you suggest in the comment section. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Cee Menka, for coming. Hey, Sean. I'll see you next time.